Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. We don't really have a ton of severe weather to talk about because we only got a very small marginal risk to talk about each day. Plus, we even do have something returning next week, which is what we're going to be talking about more in this video, and that's going to be higher potential for severe thunderstorms. We might even be seeing a severe weather outbreak one of those days, especially if things do come together and even get worse from what the models are showing right now. So we will be taking a look at that throughout this video. So let's first go ahead and look at the marginal risks for each day. And as you can see, we got a couple marginal threats for today, but as you can see, they're very small in each area, so nothing really much to worry about. But if you live across the Carolinas, back into southern parts of Arizona and even central parts of Arizona, back up here into Montana, definitely make sure you are on high alert for a few severe thunderstorms. Like I said, it's a very small threat, so it's nothing you should be panicking about, but at least be keeping an eye on the weather for a few severe thunderstorms, mainly capable of producing a few damaging wind gusts, which would be very localized and isolated, and maybe even perhaps some large hail, which would also be very localized and isolated, if any. So like I said, it's a very low threat, and the chances of you getting hit by one are pretty low, but that's the only thing I need you guys to really worry about if you guys live in a marginal risk. Now, for tomorrow, okay, we start to maybe see a little bit of an uptick in severe weather. We don't have a slight risk issued yet, but that's because we start to see a different area, and this is also a little bit more widespread. So places like Wyoming into places like western South Dakota into portions of Arizona, Montana, and as well as northwest Nebraska is one area to keep an eye on. And of course, up here, that does include North Dakota heading into Minnesota. So those will be the areas to really be watching for. Wouldn't 100%, sorry about that, but I wouldn't 100% be surprised if these did connect. So they pretty much extended this to connect to this one, to where then it includes parts of central and eastern South Dakota. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that did happen on one of the future Storm Prediction Center updates. So something to keep an eye on as we do head into tomorrow. But again, a marginal risk is a very low threat. The only thing I really need you guys to worry about tomorrow in those areas is, just maybe pull your cars into your garage, because the large hail will be a little bit higher concern tomorrow. But like I said, it's a very low threat, so it's nothing to panic about, and the chances of you getting hit are very low. But any large hail or damaging winds that develop, which again will be the main concerns, will be very isolated and localized, if any. So there's nothing really to worry too much about. Besides, like I said, you can at least pull your cars into your garage if you want. But other than that, nothing too much we gotta worry about tomorrow, and we definitely won't need live coverage any of these days. Now, last but not least will be day 3. Okay, this is gonna be Saturday into Sunday. Okay, Saturday into Sunday, and as you guys can see, for the weekend, we definitely do need to be keeping an eye out on the same areas. So pretty much Nebraska, heading into the Dakotas, back into Minnesota. We'll definitely need to be on the lookout for a few severe thunderstorms. Like I said, maybe an embedded slight risk somewhere in here, and that is going to be a possibility, I think, as especially because marginal risk is widespread. So if one did get issued, it would include Grand Forks, North Dakota, and head all the way down there towards southern and central South Dakota, if any slight risk does get issued in the later outlook. So we will definitely need to be watching those areas closely for some severe weather on Saturday. But like I said, we could very well be seeing an embedded slight risk in one of the later outlooks. Now, let's start talking about thunderstorms. We did take a look at the energy yesterday, but now let's look at where we can expect thunderstorms starting off on Sunday, July 28th. And I decided I would write text on the top so you guys really know when this is, so you guys don't really get confused. But this is for Sunday, July 28th, and as you can see, we do expect there to be quite a bit of thunderstorm activity across the Dakotas, because the darker the color, the more likely you are to see thunderstorms. And of course, these darkest colors, which is these white colors, can sometimes indicate chances for large hail, and so we will definitely need to be watching very closely for some large hail next week. Like I said earlier when we just started this video, we aren't really concerned about severe weather the rest of this week. We're mainly talking about next week, which is when we're expecting the most severe weather to occur and where severe weather will likely return. So that's the reason why we're mainly taking a look at next week, like I said, which is going to be on Sunday, like I said. So anyway, guys, like I said, we very well expect a lot of thunderstorms there, and of course, we could even very well be seeing some of that across the deep south and into the Tennessee valleys. So, we will definitely need to be watching a few areas, but I'm not really sure if this area is really going to see a lot or not, because those colors aren't very dark, which, like I said, doesn't really indicate very high chance for thunderstorms, but we could very well be seeing a lot of thunderstorms down here, which will be something to really keep an eye on. Now, as we do head into Sunday night, okay, Sunday night's looking a little bit more interesting. It's not really bullish because we are only heading about 4 days out from now, but it does want to show kind of a line of storms developing Sunday night and into Monday morning. So pretty much from Kansas all the way up into the Dakotas and into Minnesota, we'll definitely need to be on high alert for some stronger clusters of showers and thunderstorms. And of course, we have a few others like over here in Illinois and Missouri, and then another one over here in central Kansas. So something that we do need to keep an eye on as we do head into Sunday night. I wouldn't be surprised if this day did get a slight risk issued, because that slight risk does also continue into Monday morning. So we will definitely need to be seeing if one does get issued. Now for Monday, as you can see, a lot of thunderstorms still likely. It doesn't really look like Monday's gonna really be a big day, but we'll see about that. And as you can see, for Monday during the afternoon hours, we don't really see a whole lot of showers and thunderstorms. And the reason why I said the afternoon hours, and I even forgot to tell you guys this as we were looking at Sunday, but that is pretty much around 12 p.m. If you guys didn't know, I like to choose around midnight taking a look at nights, and I like to choose around the lunch hour during the day. So might not really be exact what we can expect, but still giving you guys a good idea on where we could very well be seeing some clusters of showers and thunderstorms, like I said, and that could very well be something to watch for across the Ohio Valley, heading into parts of the Midwest, and of course up here into Minnesota, and even over here into parts of the Rocky Mountains. Monday night, though, we actually start to see some bigger clusters starting to develop, and as you can see, we got a big one across Iowa, Missouri, and heading into Illinois, Indiana, and as well as Kentucky. So that will definitely be a huge one that we do need to be watching. That one could definitely propose a threat for some large hail in some areas, so that will definitely be something to keep an eye on. We do have some thunderstorms ongoing across the East Coast, but the East Coast hasn't really been dealing with severe weather for a few days, so I don't really think they're going to have to worry about severe weather for quite a while, but this is at least indicating some heavier rain and of course lightning. Now, for Tuesday, July 30th, as you can see, we start to see some more widespread showers and thunderstorms across the northeast. And like I said, the darker the color, the higher the chance. So if we do get any thunderstorms in this area, it will likely be across New York, back into Vermont, New Hampshire, into Massachusetts, and into Connecticut, and even into Rhode Island. Those will be areas to be watching for as we do head into Tuesday. And of course down here towards the deep south, and like I said, this is going to be during the lunch hour, but we could very well be seeing something completely different, because we actually are already getting to the point where it does remain uncertain on where exactly we'll be seeing thunderstorms each of the days next week. But, like I said, we could very well still see something similar to this, especially if things do continue to stay the way they are. But obviously, start taking it with a grain of salt because things do remain a little bit uncertain now that we are heading into the middle of next week, which is almost 6 days out, so that does remain uncertain. Now, Tuesday night, as you can see, some more widespread clusters of thunderstorms could even start going across northern Mississippi into western Tennessee, western Kentucky, and perhaps the lower Ohio Valley could very well be seeing some showers and thunderstorms Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. So we will definitely need to be watching Tuesday night closely. Can't rule out some severe weather Tuesday night, especially because we are already starting to get some pinks and purples showing up, so something that we do also need to keep an eye on too as well, so we will very well need to be watching it. But like I said, take this with a grain of salt. We are already getting over 6 days out, if I'm not already into 7 days out, so it's definitely something that could really be changing as we do get closer. And then, of course, for Wednesday, July 31st, which will be the last day to look at, as you can see, some more widespread showers and thunderstorms could really be ongoing across the Dakotas heading into Minnesota. But even down here towards the deep south and southeast, still something to watch for too as well, as we could very well be seeing some lingering showers and thunderstorms. So something that we do really need to be keeping an eye on. So like I said, guys, obviously take all of this with a grain of salt next week because, again, we are heading pretty far out in time, so things could very well be changing as we continue to see the models update. So that is something we're still keeping an eye on next week, even though it does remain uncertain. But like I said, things could very well change, if why not change dramatically. So obviously be taking this with a grain of salt, as we will likely see some of the things change. Now, let's look at the Colorado State University. This is the learning model, guys. This is the learning model. And as you can see, the learning model does want to point out a severe weather threat for Monday next week. But look at Monday, or Sunday rather, Sunday next week. But Monday, though, look at Monday. Monday isn't really seeing a whole lot of a severe weather threat issued by the model yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a yellow color somewhere embedded in this, so that will be something to keep an eye on there. But we actually do start to get a little bit more confidence, it looks like, about maybe a severe weather threat setting up somewhere across the Ohio Valley, as you can see, and maybe even into the Midwest. And then what really remains uncertain is Wednesday and even into Thursday. But yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. And like I did say earlier, guys, a lot of this does remain uncertain because we are still heading quite far out. But, obviously be ready for the worst, and that's because things could very well be getting worse as we get closer. But from what we know so far, we are still watching for the potential of severe storms next week. But of course, like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And of course, comment down below if you guys haven't already either. I am thinking about maybe creating a new thumbnail, so I'm pretty much going to be maybe buying a map and then pretty much turning it into a way cooler thumbnail, kind of like how the other people on YouTube do it. So if you guys want to see my new thumbnail, make sure to subscribe down below, and of course like if you haven't already.